Hi guys, it's me again. Today we are going to fill out these notes together. So if you have not already, please make sure you have this notes page in front of you and a pencil. If you don't, pause the video and go get what you need. Today we're talking about ratios. What is a ratio? A ratio is the comparison of two quantities or numbers. Quantities. How can I write a ratio? You can write a ratio. We're going to use the ratio 1 to 1. You can write a ratio using a colon. You can write a ratio using the word 2, so 1 to 1. And you can write a ratio using a fraction. All of these say the same thing, 1 to 1. 1 to 1, 1 to 1. I know it looks like a fraction, but it's a ratio. And ratios can compare a couple different things. You can write a part to part ratio, and it's okay if this is a little bit confusing right now. We're going to see some examples of ratios the further we get. And really, we just need to remember this, that it's a comparison. So we can do a part to part ratio. We can write a part to whole ratio, and we can write a whole to part ratio. So what does that mean? How can we do this? So we have this table here that we're going to fill out. The first one says 3 drums for 18 people. So I can draw my model of 3 drums, and 18, my people are dots, for 18 people. My ratio, you could choose either of these to write this. I'm going to do a ratio of 3 as a fraction, 3 drums for 18 people. This is important. My first label is drums. My second is people. So yes, it looks like a fraction, 3 over 18, but it's not just 3 over 18. It's 3 drums to 18 people, 3 to 18. Okay? So this is the same thing as saying like 18 people are sharing 3 drums.
Mr. Ramirez, please submit 8th period attendance. Mr. Ramirez,
another way I can say this is 3 to 18. Okay? So I want us to also think, I know when we see this as a fraction, we think about simplifying. You can also simplify ratios. So I could divide this by 3, and it's like I'm making an equivalent fraction. And now I have 1 to 6. So I also have 1 drum to every 6 people. What we just did there, right here, this is called a proportion. Okay? When we have drums to drums and people to people, you have to keep the same label. When we're thinking about a proportion, you have to have the same. So drums have to be compared to drums, and people have to be compared to people. So let's look at this next one. 4 blue-eyed people to every 6 brown-eyed people. Blue to brown. 4 blue to 6 brown. I could write my ratio. Now this time I'm going to just say 4 to 6. That means for every 4 blue-eyed people, for every 4 blue, there are 6 brown. Another way we could say this is 4 to 6. Now, could I write a proportion here? You can pause the video and think about a proportion that you could write.
Nighthawk, it is now 4:05 and tutorials have ended. Please exit the building immediately. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
So I can, because I can simplify that, divide it by 2, and now I have 2 blue to 3 brown. This is called, when we use division, we just scaled down. You don't have to necessarily write that, but I'm just going to write that. What we did here is scaling down. You could also multiply like times 2, and that would be scaling up. But for when we're simplifying like this is called scaling down. Let's do one more here. 5 boys out of 10 girls. That should say for every. I don't like the wording on this one, so I like to change it. 5 boys for every 10 girls. So boy, 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 girl, girl. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our ratio would be 5 boys to 10 girls. Or 5 to 10. Okay. And then again, we could say for every 5 boys, there are 10 girls. So 5 to 10. I could scale this one down, so I could divide by 5 and divide by 5, and I have a 1 boy to 2 girl ratio, 1 to 2 ratio there. We're going to go ahead and skip that one. I think that's good practice. If you want to do that one on your own, you can. This one says, our closure, 1 out of 10 people are left-handed. Explain in words what this means and what does this tell us about the people who are right-handed. So 1 out of every 10 people are left-handed. 1 left-handed person for every 10 total people. This means there are, what does that mean? It means that, do we have more right-handed people or left-handed people? I want you to write here what you think that means. And I also have a challenge for you. This is something that you are going to write on your page. I know it's not on your paper because we added this after I sent it to the print shop, but you can turn your paper over, your notes page over, and answer this question. It says, Claire received a bunch of bags of Skittles for Halloween. Claire opened a bag that has a ratio of 15 red Skittles to 20 total Skittles in her bag. If Claire opens a bag with 9 red Skittles, can you predict how many total Skittles she will have? So, I want you to see if you can predict how many total Skittles are in that second bag. I'll give you a head start. And your ratio would be 15 to 20. 15 red to 20 total. Could you use, remember that word I just taught you right here? Could you use a proportion to figure out how many total are here? Remember, the same rules apply. If I'm making an equivalent fraction, I can't add to get from fraction to fraction. I can only multiply or divide. So this may be a 2-step problem. We're going to talk about this at the end of class, so make sure that this is done and you've at least attempted it. Maybe you draw a picture if you're not understanding. Try something here. All right. Good job. Nice work.